right now, the 90, they've shut it down completely. A lot of these other vehicles are probably going to have to move out of here or back up or turn around. But LAPD out here in force right now, probably more for the public safety, as the other vehicles are still on that off-ramp or the end of the 90 freeway out here. But you can see that the suspect not getting out of the vehicle, the passenger also apparently not getting out of the vehicle. And this kind of makes more questions in my mind about what was going on. That vehicle, I don't think it ran out of steam. The possibility of it starting up and driving off again is definitely still there. So I'm wondering if LAPD is going to try to block Mindanao Way. But at any rate, right now, we're just kind of waiting and seeing what that driver is going to do. And the door is open. That's a plus.
Okay, let's see what happens.
But,
yeah.
I'm still going to be very cautious.
Yeah, the driver's coming out right now, and I'm sure you have all the officers that are surrounding him right now on edge. They're probably trying to talk him down and make sure that this is a peaceful surrender. It looks like he kind of climbed. He's trying to get out. I don't know, can you zoom in a little bit more so we can see if he's okay? Well, I know you kind of have to keep your distance.
Yeah, if he has a weapon or something like that, it looks like looks like a wallet. But these are those super tense situations where, officers, they are, they're on edge. That driver clearly in an emotional state, probably a lot of adrenaline as well. So, rational decisions, I don't really know. But it's like basically it's like he's saying, "Hey, come to me." That's what I'm reading as sign, as body language. I don't see any weapons. It looks like he's got a phone and a driving glove on. So, maybe he is a professional driver. Who knows? But at any rate, getting back into the car. But the passenger, I wonder why that passenger just hasn't gotten out and walked over to the law enforcement.
Well, in all fairness, already. You don't know if that passenger was being threatened or perhaps the suspect has a weapon. You don't know. For whatever reason, that person is probably too afraid to get out of the car right now and get help. But you do have a number of officers there. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking at like six, 7 different cars right now surrounding this vehicle. He did, just a moment ago, it looked like he tried to get out, but now he's shut himself back in the car, and who knows what he was saying to officers.
Yeah, and it looks like that what I was doing right there, it looks like there's smoke coming from the front of the vehicle right there. Don't know if those are the brakes that are overheating or what other mechanical problems it could be. But definitely that vehicle, it was driving pretty hard there for a little bit. I would venture to say those are the brakes still cooling down. But law enforcement, they just want to get this guy into custody, get him away from that vehicle as quickly as possible. Look at the number of officers out here. There's some less than lethal, but a lot of lethal weaponage down there in those officers' hands. And it looks like they finally have gotten control over that 90, end of the 90 here at Mindanao. They have all traffic stopped, but they still have some traffic moving across this way, which, I was going to say there's probably a unit there as well. So right now, this is usually a very busy intersection. It's going to be a little bit more busy right now. That suspect, all he has to do is walk over there, give himself up. That'll bring this whole thing to an end. But that's all up to him right now.
So, all right, so if you are just joining us on GDLA Plus, welcome to the 11 o'clock hour. We are following the end of a police pursuit in Marina del Rey. We're at the 90 in Mindanao Way. Officers have this gentleman who is a domestic violence suspect. It appears that we're in standoff mode right now. Authorities trying to negotiate with this man to try to get him, who is clearly in distress, outside of this car.
Right, and you just got back in. You can see him fussing around down there a little bit. He keeps reaching underneath the vehicle. Maybe there is a problem with the car. He's kind of coming back out again. Again, the same type of attitude. It's just he's kind of just defiant, just kind of like, I want to do it my way. You guys come to me, or whatever's going on down there. But law enforcement, they've got their own plans and they've got their own procedures. And I venture to say they might go over there there and try to take him into custody. But right now, they're just going to wait it out. They do have time on their hands, that is for sure. That suspect, it's all up to him. He's got to make that decision, what he's going to do. Hopefully it's going to be the right decision, walk over there or do as they say, probably get down on his knees, and they can take him into custody. But as it stands right now, it's very much a standoff out here, and this is going to be in the Marina del Rey area, end of the 90 freeway, right at Mindanao Way.
Well, it's not just about the suspect. I believe we think there is a passenger there. There is someone else in that car from what we have tried to see through these very tinted windows. Sometimes it seems like, yes, in fact, there is a second person, and other times it feels like maybe it's just his maneuvers and motions making it look as though there is some kind of altercation inside that vehicle. But if that is the case, and they have to just assume the, the very worst of the situation, they don't want to put someone else's life in danger. So that could be why it's taking a while to bring this to an end. Do you know, and in generally speaking with these circumstances, have they made contact, or do they make contact with the suspect by phone, maybe try to negotiate with him in that setting?
I don't think it's going to happen that fast. It would be more of a, if this was like a long drawn out type of thing. LAPD has a lot of tricks in their bag, that is for sure. And getting the cell phone for that person inside that vehicle is definitely going to be one of them. They won't make those kind of efforts until this becomes like a standoff. And then a lot of times they'll actually contact family members and have family members call maybe to try to talk some reason into that person. But right now it's very much a standoff. You've got a lot of weaponage pointed at that vehicle, and you're completely right. I mean, law enforcement, I've said this many times, they're concerned about everybody's safety, even that suspect. But now you add in the fact that there is most likely a female passenger inside that vehicle, and also any kind of passenger. Law enforcement is going to be very careful on what they do and how they handle this. As you might have an innocent person basically in the line of fire. So they're right now, they are going to go probably the more relaxed route. They might turn into a standoff. They might actually even be calling for a negotiator. But right now, still very tense, as a lot of these officers coming down off of their adrenaline as well. That driver still seems to be a little bit angst. Every time he gets out, he's very agitated. You can read that in his body language. But, I don't know what those conversations are between the driver and law enforcement. Pretty sure law enforcement is just saying, get out of the vehicle, put your hands up, walk backwards. But that's definitely not happening.
Meantime, it seems like they do have that stretch of the off-ramp blocked off, and I suppose the good news here is that that particular stretch of road is yeah, look at all that. Wow. Okay, so there is some traffic behind there, and they do have it blocked off, but where it's situated is it's actually in an industrial part of Marina del Rey. But Mindanao Way is certainly a pretty big thoroughfare. He's out of the car right now and gesturing toward police. Confrontational body language there.
Oftentimes we talk about the fact that domestic violent calls, when it comes to officers, is the most dangerous call they get, because people have high emotions. At times they feel as though they have nothing to lose.
Beanbag them.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh boy.
They're okay. Yeah. So they're,
they're just swarming them. They're just swarming them. No weapons are out or anything like that. You got the other door open right now. They're taking out the the passenger right there. Right. So that's the passenger, and the driver. A little bit of force. There's no doubt about that. But this is just physical force. There are no weapons out, no batons, nothing like that. They're just swarming him, getting him down, and now they're going to cuff him. But as far as that passenger, there we go. There definitely was a passenger inside that vehicle, going to be taken into custody. They're probably going to have some questions, but who knows what was going on there. This will all come out later on in the wash, as it would be. But right now, that suspect's still wrestling with officers, and but definitely in cuffs now.
Well, glad it came to an end in the safest way possible, meaning other people, bystanders, including the passenger, seems to not have been hurt. That could have really gone bad quickly. So we'll keep an eye on it, obviously. Stu, thank you for the play-by-play. We are, at this time, going to take a break, and we'll come back with GDLA Plus, including our guest host this morning. We'll be right back.